Hi guys. All right, we're going to start chapter 7, and chapter 7 is about square roots. So first of all, a square root of a number is a number that when multiplied by itself equals the given number. Every positive number has a positive and a negative square root. A perfect square is a number with integers as its square root. So for example, perfect square would be 25 because the square root of 25 equals 5. That's the integer. So if you can multiply a whole number or an integer by times itself, it is going to give you that. And so we would have, this could be 5 or it could be -5 because -5 times -25 or 5 is 25. So it could be either one of those. That would be an example of a perfect square and an example of a positive and a negative integer. Okay, finding the square roots of a perfect square. We will be having our perfect squares test. We'll get 3 attempts on the first and the second, the fifth and the 8th, and the 11th or the 12th. You get 3 chances to get 100%, and we'll talk more about that in class. Notice 0 has one square root, which is 0. That's really important. So the square root of 0 is 1. Find 2 square roots of 49. So 7 times 7 equals 49, and -7 times -7 equals 49. So the square root of 49 are 7 and -79. The symbol, this right here, is what we call the radical sign, and it's used to represent a square root. The number under the radical sign is called the radicand. Okay. A positive square root would look like this. The square root of 16 is 4. Negative square root, so if you have a negative sign out, that means we do this first. Square root of 16 is 4. And basically, it's kind of like saying -1 times 4, so -4. And then if you have both, you would have a plus minus in front of it, and that can mean that it can be a positive or -4. All right, let's look at these. Find the square roots. So the square root of 25, because 5 squared equals 25, the square root of 25 equals the square root of 5 squared, which equals 5. So 5 would be the square root. For this one, when you have fractions, you can just divide those up. And that's the same as 3 squared and 4 squared, or you can also kind of think of it as square root of 9 over the square root of 16 with the negative out there. That's another way to think of that. And notice that we got to that point right here. And the negative square root of 9/16 is 3 squared over 4 squared, which is -3/4. So the answer would be -3/4. On this one, the positive or negative square root of 2 and 25/100. So first of all, you have to choose one that's going to be positive and negative, because 1 and 5/10 times 1 and 5/10 equals 2 and 25/100. Then the positive negative square root of 2 and 25/100 equals the positive negative of the square root of 1 and 5/10 times, or second power. So it's 1 and 5/10 and -1 and 5/10. So now go ahead and pause, do on your own, turn the page. So you got to go through, and you're going to do the on your owns on the other page. Okay, we're going to get back to this, and we'll go back and check our answers in just a little bit. Squaring a positive number and finding a square root are inverse operations. They undo each other. You can use this relationship to evaluate expressions and solve equations involving squares. So if we look at this evaluate expression, if we have 5 times, because it's written right next to it, the square root of 36, plus 7, we know that the square root of 36 is 6. So 5 times 6 plus 7. All right, so we're going to we follow the order of operations. So this is 30 plus 7, and then we add them, and we get 37. Okay, for this one, 1/4 plus the square root of 18 halves. Well, we can divide 18 by 2, so we're going to do 1/4 plus, it's the same as the square root of 9 because we can do 18 divided by 2. So now bring the 1/4 down. What's the square root of 9? 3. Now 3 plus 1/4 is 3 and 1/4. All right, for this one, all right, we're squaring this. So this is saying undo it, but then square it again. So the square root of the square of the square root of 81 is just 81 minus 5, and 81 minus 5 is 76. Okay. Real life applications. The area of a crop circle is so this is the area. Area is 45,216 square feet. What is the radius? So we're looking for the radius of the crop circle, and it says use 3.144 pi. So first we have to think about what is the formula for area of a circle. Well, area equals pi r squared. And we know the area, so we're going to take out A and put 45,216 equals pi. But we know pi is 3.14. That's what they said they want us to use, times the radius squared. So first of all, let's get this by itself. So we're going to divide both sides by 3.14. We get r squared equals, and 45,216 divided by 3 and 1400 is actually 14,400. Now, this is saying 2 r's equal this. We want to know 1, so we want to find the square root of r squared. And if I want to do that, I also want to find the square root of 14,400. And that means that r equals 120. So the radius of the crop circle is about 120 feet. So now go ahead and try it on your own, 7, 8, 9, and 10 on the next page, and then you can check it in just a minute. Okay, here are the answers to on your own. So the square root of 36 is 6 and negative 6. Square root of 100 is 10 and negative 10. Square root of 121 is 11 and negative 11. Find the square roots. So the square root of 1 is 1 times the negative is negative 1. The square root here, square root of 4 is 2. Square root of 25 is 5. So you get positive negative 2/5. Here we know that the square root of 12 and 2500s, I can multiply 3 and 5/10 times 3 and 5/10, and that's going to give me 12 and 2500s. So the answer is 3 and 5/10. Evaluate the expression 12 minus 3 times the square root or the root 25. So the square root of 25 is 5 times 3 is 15. 12 minus 15 is negative 3. On this one, 28 divided by 7 is 4. The square root of 4 is 4 and 4. 4 plus 2 and 4/10. The square root of 4 is 2. 2 plus 2 and 4/10 is 4 and 4/10. So on this one, we have to do this first. Okay, parentheses first. So the square root of 4 is 2. Now square it, so that's 4. 15 minus 4 is 11. The area of a circle is 28,026, or 200, let me back up, 2,826 feet squared. Write and solve the equation to find the radius of the circle. Use 3.14, so it's going to be 3.14 r squared equals 28,000 or 2,826. Divides both sides by 3.14. Find the square root of r squared and the square root of this, and you get about 30 feet.